Welcome to Space Nexus. Please subscribe and hit the bell icon for more breaking updates. Good morning. Today, we're about to embark on a journey that captures the heart and spirit of Canadian sport. A story of grit, unity, and the pursuit of greatness. Today, we dive into a story that redefined international rugby. It's a tale that goes beyond the scoreboard, reaching into the very soul of what it means to represent your country on the world stage. In 2025, the Canadian women's rugby team stunned the world. Their journey was not just about winning matches, but about breaking barriers and challenging expectations. Against all odds, these dedicated athletes reached the World Cup final, igniting a movement that inspired fans across the nation. Their determination brought together communities from coast to coast, uniting Canadians in pride and hope. Their semi-final win over the legendary New Zealand Black Ferns, six-time champions, was historic. It was a moment that sent shockwaves through the rugby world, proving that no legacy is too great to challenge. Canada didn't just win, they toppled a dynasty, proving the old guard was no longer untouchable. The victory was a symbol of change, a sign that a new era in women's rugby had arrived. This was the result of years of hard work, not just a lucky break. Early mornings, late nights, and countless hours of training in all conditions forged a team that refused to back down. While rivals like the US failed to reach the final stages, Canada's rise was even more remarkable. Their journey was a testament to resilience, overcoming setbacks and doubts to reach new heights. Many Canadian players are amateurs, balancing full-time jobs with elite training. They juggled careers, families, and their passion for rugby, making sacrifices that often went unseen. They played for respect, recognition, and to inspire the next generation. Every try, every tackle, was for the young girls watching from the stands, dreaming of their own moment in the spotlight. The final against England was a test, but the real victory was already theirs. They had already won the hearts of a nation, showing what's possible when you believe in yourself and your teammates. Canada showed that passion and belief can rival any budget. Their celebrations were filled with emotion, a release of years of effort and hope. They sparked a national conversation about funding in women's sports. Their success forced the country to reflect on how we support our athletes, and what more can be done to ensure future generations have the resources they need. This was more than a tournament. It was a testament to the power of belief. It was a reminder that dreams are worth chasing, no matter the obstacles. The Canadian women etched their names into history, not just as champions, but as trailblazers who changed the game forever. To understand Canada's 2025 triumph, you need to know their journey. For decades, they were contenders. Always close, never champions. Their 2014 World Cup final loss to England was a turning point, fueling their hunger. Veterans carried that heartbreak, building a stronger, more resilient program. Unlike powerhouse nations, Canadian players are mostly amateurs, teachers, engineers, students. They train around busy lives, making immense sacrifices for the love of the game. This dual identity forged a unique camaraderie and relentless work ethic. Facing professional teams, they overcame systemic disadvantages year after year. Their journey was defined by a refusal to accept limitations. They believed they belonged at the top, no matter the odds. Canada's World Cup run was shaped by financial struggle. With a modest $3.6 million budget, they operated on a shoestring compared to rugby giants. Players balanced demanding jobs with elite training, using vacation days for tournaments. Preparation camps were shorter, resources limited, and every dollar stretched. Instead of resentment, this forged unity and purpose. Their fight for resources mirrored the broader battle for equity in women's sports. Canada's success challenged the idea that victory is only for the well-funded. They proved passion and sacrifice can overcome systemic barriers. Their journey spotlighted the urgent need for greater investment in female athletes. Facing mounting financial hurdles and the daunting costs of international competition, Rugby Canada found itself at a crossroads. The dream of competing at the highest level was slipping away, unless they could find a new way forward. In a bold move, they turned to the Canadian public for help, hoping the nation would answer their call. In March 2025, Rugby Canada launched Mission Win Rugby World Cup, a nationwide crowdfunding campaign with the ambitious goal of raising $1 million. The campaign was more than just a fundraiser, it was a rallying point for every Canadian who believed in the team's potential. Almost overnight, the campaign caught fire. It became a true national movement, uniting Canadians from coast to coast, regardless of age or background. People who had never watched a rugby match before were suddenly invested in the team's journey. Donations poured in from every corner of the country. Kids emptied their piggy banks, families chipped in what they could, and businesses stepped up with generous checks. Online notifications buzzed with support, and the campaign nearly reached its ambitious goal. The funds raised made a real difference. The team gained access to better coaching, state-of-the-art training equipment, and advanced recovery resources, giving them the tools they needed to compete with the world's best. But perhaps even more important than the money was the sense of unity it created. The campaign forged a powerful bond between the team and the nation, bringing fans and players closer than ever before. Every donation, no matter the size, was a message of belief and hope. Handwritten notes and supportive signs poured in, reminding the players that the whole country was behind them. The players felt this wave of support deeply. Reading fan mail in the locker room, they drew strength and determination from the encouragement of thousands. Captain Sophie de Gaude called this groundswell of support critical to their success, crediting the nation's belief as a driving force behind the team's spirit and resilience. Their campaign slogan, "Belief, Belief," echoed across the country, becoming a rallying cry for fans and players alike. With the nation's unwavering support behind them, the Canadian team took to the world stage, proud, prepared, and united as one. Canada entered the World Cup ranked number 2, determined to prove themselves. They dominated the pool stages, defeating Fiji, Wales, and Scotland with power and flair. In the quarter-final, they dispatched Australia with confidence. Across 4 matches, they scored 193 points and conceded just 31, a statement to the world. Captain Sophie de Gaude led with heart, while Justine Pelletier and Taylor Perry orchestrated the attack. Veteran Alex Tessier anchored the defense. Head coach Kevin Rouet instilled belief and an aggressive, ambitious game plan. Canada played with earned confidence, not just hope. By the semi-final, they were no longer underdogs. They were true contenders. The world was watching. September 19, 2025, on a crisp evening at Ashton Gate, the Canada women's rugby team stood shoulder to shoulder, facing the legendary New Zealand Black Ferns in the World Cup semi-final. The air was thick with anticipation, and the stakes had never been higher for Canadian rugby. The world expected another routine victory for the Black Ferns, a team with a legacy of dominance. But Canada arrived with a quiet confidence, determined to write their own story and prove that no dynasty is unbreakable. From the opening whistle, Canada unleashed a relentless energy. They matched the Black Ferns' famed physicality, refusing to be intimidated, and met every challenge head-on with grit and heart. The Canadian forwards set the tone, dominating the scrums and rucks, while their dynamic backs found gaps in the New Zealand defense, surging forward with speed and precision. Canada crossed the try line 5 times, tying the record for most tries ever conceded by New Zealand in a World Cup match. Each score sent shockwaves through the stadium and disbelief across the rugby world. The final whistle blew with the scoreboard reading 34-19. It wasn't just a win, it was a statement. Canada had toppled the Giants, delivering a decisive victory that would be talked about for years. This was no fluke or lucky break. It was a masterclass in teamwork, preparation, and belief. A true dismantling of a rugby dynasty. Scrum half Justine Pelletier, whose quick thinking and leadership shone throughout, was named Player of the Match. But every player in red had played the game of their lives, united in purpose. Emotions ran high, tears, laughter, and disbelief. But Coach Kevin Rouet quickly gathered his squad, reminding them that their journey wasn't over. The final awaited, and focus was key. Captain Sophie de Gaude summed up the moment perfectly. "We've defied the odds, we've made history, and now we know we can overcome anything together." The celebrations erupted, on the field, in the stands, and across Canada. Fans waved flags, cheered, and embraced the magnitude of what their team had achieved. With this unforgettable victory, Canada booked their place in the World Cup final for the first time in history, inspiring a nation and a new generation of players. A new era had begun, not just for Canadian rugby, but for women's sport across the country. The final: Canada versus England at Twickenham, rugby's grandest stage. Canada sought redemption for 2014, England aimed to reclaim the crown. The match was fierce. England's professional power met Canada's relentless heart. Canada defended bravely, showing flashes of brilliance and refusing to back down. But England's depth and polish proved decisive. The final score, 33-13, England victorious. Canada accepted silver with pride, having earned global respect. Their journey was the story of the tournament. They disrupted the world order, proving grit and belief can challenge the best. The loss didn't diminish their achievement. It marked a new beginning. Canada had made history. Canada's run sparked a national conversation about women's sports funding. Their amateur status versus England's professionalism exposed deep disparities. Crowdfunding their World Cup journey was both inspiring and a call for change. The team became advocates for equity, showing the value of investing in female athletes. Young girls across Canada saw new possibilities, fueling a surge in rugby participation. Globally, Canada's story inspired underfunded teams everywhere. They proved that belief, smart coaching, and unity can challenge the elite. Their journey became a blueprint for hope and change. The legacy of this Canadian team will endure. Their mantra, "Belief," inspired a nation and redefined what's possible. Now the challenge is to turn momentum into lasting investment and professional opportunities. Rugby Canada, sponsors, and government must build a sustainable future for women's rugby. The players return as heroes and advocates, ready to shape the next chapter. Their story is a call to action: support female athletes, invest in their dreams. The Canadian team proved that heart can triumph over wealth. Their journey challenges us all to believe. The next chapter is unwritten, but the future is bright. Canada's women have given us every reason to believe.